Okay, so I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can. I've had lots of difficulty this week, but I did write this letter and it's got a few mistakes. I'm just going to send it like it is. And so this is to the Transport Minister. It'll explain itself. So, Dear Minister for Transport, Department of Transport and VicRoads. To Transport Minister, Department of Transport and VicRoads, Melissa Maria Family Cathcart, an internally displaced person of the areas of Maribyrnong, Hobsons Bay, Wyndham, I spelled it wrong, Moonee Valley, Melbourne and Brimbank, due to foreign occupation, your administration of. See what I mean by mistakes? I'm in so much pain. My neck is really hurting. So even if I move a little bit. Under instruction from Stephen I, I write a real letter with a stamp and send it to both parties as listed. The payment will go to you at Spring Street, as you are supposed to be the party to whom fees, contracts and services are supposed to be made, but we know that you are a foreign portfolio manager with a foreign debt slave trading agent and nothing more. On the 2026-0522, I went to visit VicRoads in Sale, Victoria to pay the registration fee for my car in our money as a people united in Federal Commonwealth, Kingdom of Australia, into which I am a subject of the Australian Imperial Crown under God, King and Country. It's quite long, but it's, as you can see, it's only sort of half pages. I offered the amount in silver coinage, that is our money, in the section 115 of our Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900 Imperial and the Currency Act 1965. In addition, I do not see any royal assent given to you to trade with us in any other types of currency that might be foreign to our people. Thus, I asked under what act the VicRoads are attempting to trade us for a debt slavery currency on registrations in your area in our country. The staff, Leah, Alicia and a further staff member, were unable to tell me under what act they were insisting on a foreign debt slavery currency over my people and country. And so by order of Stephen I, I still offered silver dollars as payment, which they have declined. You can see Stephen I and all of his instructions and guidance to the people united in Federal Commonwealth on YouTube, Locusts and Honey 486. I encourage you to take heed to our people as a people united in that Federal Commonwealth and end trafficking us under Hague IV rules for war and land. We are subjects of the Australian Imperial Crown, and we are well aware that you are a foreign military power, an administrator that is running rampant on Ponzi loan schemes to steal everything from us. You build massive boxes all over our land and make us homeless and destroy all of our family businesses, thus killing us off as a people. It is time you stop trafficking us like the criminals that you are. The vehicles in my charity for the kingdom that my ancestors died for, the people united in a Federal Commonwealth, are registered with you for your convenience and hold no jurisdiction on a federal level. It is to you to prove that you are not a foreign occupying force enslaving us to a foreign debt, to foreign interests, while internally displacing us and wide erasing us and domestic trafficking us in order to take from us everything that we are, that we created, and that our families died defending. I'm therefore writing to provide the payment in silver under instruction of our King, in the rightful lineage of our ancestors, as the naked owners of this land, the people are the naked owners inside the blessing of Almighty God of this land and the Constitution. The payment is equivalent $1 silver on the day upon which this is written. To ensure that it covers the full amount, I will add a 1/10 ounce, that is further 10 cents in silver dollars per our Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900 Imperial, Section 115. If you do not want it, return the money and consider the previous position that exists, that the vehicle is registered, has been since 1990, and that no further payments will be made to you in a foreign debt slavery currency. You brought a debt upon us, and we are not required to fund your erratic and dangerous loaning racket. I remind you that you are to serve the people united in a Federal Commonwealth. We are not required to tolerate you killing us off, trafficking us, internally displacing us, domestic trafficking us, or any other form of forced medical procedure or other kinds of conscription as per the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900 Imperial. Even on the note of provision of disability for the invalid elders, or widowed widower of our people across this, our Commonwealth, that we spilt our blood for. You are reminded of our position as your constituent control found in the post on @Locust and Honey 486 dated 1 day ago on YouTube. Stephen I wrote in part of the post, Amalgamated Society of Engineers claimant and Adelaide Steamship Company Limited 28 CLR 129 1920 HCA 54 case, wherein it states clearly the non-granting of powers, the expressed qualifications of powers granted, the expressed retention of powers are all to be taken into account by a court. But the extravagant use of granted powers in the actual working of the Constitution is a matter to be guarded by the constituencies and not by the courts. When the people of Australia, to use the words of the Constitution itself, united in a federal commonwealth, they took power to control by ordinary constitutional means any attempt on the part of the National Parliament to misuse its powers. If it be conceivable, that the representatives of the people of Australia as a whole would ever proceed to use their national powers to injure the people of Australia considered sectionally, it is a certainty within the power of the people themselves to resent and reverse what may be done. No protection of this court in such a case is necessary or proper. Therefore, the doctrine of political necessity as means of interpretation is indefensible on any ground. The one clear line of judicial inquiry as to the meaning of the Constitution must be to read it naturally in the light of the circumstances in which it was made, with knowledge of the combined fabric of the common law and the statute law which preceded it, and then lucet ipsa per se. Let that light its way, basically. In a previous post back in the history of the same YouTube channel, King Stephen I told us as subjects that our registrations are to be made once and are for private travel, since we are not driving for any means of income, exchange, etc., for our time, and cannot thus be asked to pay any tolls or trafficking done against us from you or any state, given that we are subjects under God, King and country, not public people. We do not have standing as we are loyal subjects, not as you wish us to be, as foreign occupants on our own country. How absurd of you to do this to us from cradle to our grave. Therefore, for the final time, I am offering this payment, and you will accept it or not. If you return it, consider it paid for the lifetime of any vehicle that I might have use of, plus what is in existence at this stage, being Caravan Millard 80 Series Pop-Top registration number 37383C and Sedan registration WKS 556, and any other that might come into my use, and or as part of the charity for the kingdom as so defined in this letter. The number plates granted are ours, as we have paid for them, and so no one has a right to remove them for any reason, and the vehicles are not to be trafficked or stolen from us. We have a duty to let our people know of these facts, and so this letter will be made public for the use of our people when they should so choose to embody that people united in Federal Commonwealth, and to notify Stephen I that one has attempted to engage with you in a peaceful manner. You are well aware of the laws of this kingdom, and thus you are aware that under the Hague IV, you are not allowed to force us to be subjects to any foreign powers, much less to you as the foreign administrator over us, and you are not allowed to commit slavery over us either. You are a belligerent as per the definition in the King's English Dictionary, and we will not tolerate you committing these crimes over us any more. We did not give consent, neither did our King give royal assent, for you to privatise our registrations in order to rent them back to us. Licenses that are supposed to signify our capability to operate a machine, not as identification, and transport infrastructure and services to foreign hostile occupants on our land. For our railways and buses, you are to bring back our conductors, our station masters, and our rightful ways of safe travel. Our people found joy in performing these responsible duties within our communities. Crime was kept low, as we were among our own people instead of being forced into prison cell living with multiple citizens of foreign entities. We want our railways back under our own control and service. We want stations like Rosedale, Middle Footscray and such brought back into full and proper use, and people encouraged to retake ownership of rightful use and behaviours on travel, as it was just a few short decades ago when they were still ours. We want our life back, not online, in real life. I've got too much, 1.5. Okay. Stop the focus on monetary enslavement over our people, country and infrastructure. You have no reason to inflict slavery upon us. You have no reason to displace, traffic or otherwise harm us as a people united in a federal commonwealth. You are the servants. We are not here to pay your way. You are here to administer and not to steal from us the very life within us. You are under Hague, Geneva and United Nations conventions. You are party to those treaties. Under the International Treaty for Natural Justice, we are a native and indigenous people known as the Kingdom of Australia, a people united in a federal commonwealth centred in the Shrine of Remembrance by way of our Stone of Remembrance. It belongs to us, and we resent any of you pretending that it is okay to inflict the slavery on any other kind, when it is you that brought debt upon us in acts of irresponsible and dishonest dealing. Our King has spoken, lest you forget. On the other note, your foreign agent VicRoads issued a further trafficking attempt to debt slavery by sending a false, not registered notice long after the previous registration for the caravan listed was paid. Again, evidence of the foreign administrator's agent attempting to make us subjects of a foreign power, monetary, military force, and slavery. After I presented these facts and the staff had provided no means to pay outside of your foreign debt slavery, they threatened to ask the Victoria Police peacekeepers to attend and asked me to leave. Their ignorance of the crimes committed is no excuse. They are party to those crimes under the Hague and are liable to those criminal acts. If you enslave someone, it is always a crime. That is the crux of the matter here. Please do not gaslight me on the subjects here. Just address the issues. We have been over this before, and this is the first time I have been required to write to you and suggest that you read the Attorney General's website of self-determination of people on our own land. These are in alignment with United Nations guidelines on self-determination of peoples. I look forward to you writing back on those matters with a sincere apology and taking responsibility for your actions so that needs not be addressed in a court, as our dear Justice of the High Court has said in the quote provided by Stephen I above. Last bit. Now, finally, it would be helpful if you would bother to assist in contacting the supposed housing administrator of the housing portfolio, so that I can be assisted with having my caravan put in my native area, so that I can resume living in my land of my nativity instead of being displaced in a foreign land. You cannot be bothered assisting me to have a place to live in, but you still want to traffic me and my people all day long. Ridiculous. Warm regards, in God, King and Country. That's the charity. So, I haven't signed yet, but that's actually considered a signature at international law, but I'll do my squiggle. Anyway, so I've just got a copy of it, but yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there, and I don't want to get this video too long, so I'm just gonna put that there for a minute. And this is a book I'm reading, Australian Tort Law in the 21st Century. I'm learning a lot, and I just wanted to present that. I think I've shown you before, I'm not sure, but I can't get all my videos to go online. I got the shorts. I've got a schedule of shorts for the next number of weeks, but yeah, I just wanted to show you because my favourite author's in here, Colonial Innovation in the Australian Law of Torts, and it's very, very, very informative. He's such a great author. And provides negligence, morality and apologies, assessing responsibility in the real world. And that's a really good article. I might read it, or I'm not sure. I don't know if they will take charge against me if I read it. But she's written a really apt article. She often writes with Mark Leeming, and she has some really good points about accepting apologies in the courtroom and what that means for damages to be obtained. Yeah, so which is why I said it in that way in the letter. I haven't quoted her article, but I could have. And so this is some of the weakness, that I have, is that I will just write things and not remember the references where they came from. But now that I look at it, it would have come from my recent reading. So, yeah, she says basically that an apology is fine, but courts have found that often, or we've found that often they might have to be forced to be apologize. Like they have to. I mean, they're forced to apologize by order, but they don't express the regret plus the responsibility amongst in the apology. I'm sorry about my talking. This pain is really, when I move, it hurts. Like if I move anyway. Yeah, so I've had an issue of someone spat in my face at a caravan park, and so I need help from the government to assist me. But since 2020, since 2013 till 2017 and 2020 till now, they have not assisted me. And I'm supposed to be one of those disabled people, displaced out of my own land of nativity. And so, anyway, as a result of the woman spitting in my face, and then they stole two plants, one I bought for the caravan park and one I had from my dad. They stole two plants, and then the next day, two of the men threatened me that if I don't leave the caravan park, I'm going to get worse than spat on. So that's been through the police, but I've got to write to a sergeant and tell her what I want to write, because they have to listen to me because I have disability. So I'll come up with more stuff 10 minutes later after they've left, you know what I mean? So I'm going to try and write it all out for her, but this pain is so bad. I slept in my car for about 4 nights, and then I came into my caravan again. But I came into my caravan because I have extreme pain at the moment, and it's a bit better than it was, but that's mostly because I can put a heater on. And so, yeah, it's extremely painful. Anyway, so that's my letter. I don't want to keep talking. I kind of want to, but I've given you what I was going to give you. So, yeah. Mark's account, that thing, it's extremely interesting because it lets you know how Australian tort law works to some degree. It's quite interesting. And the background in the English law that we used to have, or that we still have because we got it by inheritance. So I love when he writes about that stuff. These are all really interesting, different things. They're all different, different aspects of the topic. So, and this is the article, Anderson versus Commonwealth, that I've got to look up, but I can't remember what it was about. So, go and watch Locust and Honey 486 channel on YouTube, and the video is clickbait. And if you want to know about the genocide they're committing against us, that video is on the same channel, and it's called Genocide. You can look it up. And there's one more to look up, which is Report, and that shows you how to write up a Supreme Court document. And I don't know how many people know this, but the High Court of Australia is the Supreme Court of this country. So when you have Supreme Court of Victoria, you have a Supreme Court of Australia, of the Kingdom of Australia, and it's called the High Court of Australia. So that's how these Aboriginals get all their supposed rights and whatnot. They go through that, and we're supposed to be doing it as well. So I'm getting my case ready. I've been writing, but I have to write notices to several of the places, hospital, police, ambulance, Department of Social Security, which is now Department of Social Services, the Secretary, the Minister of the Health Departments, the Centrelink, what's it called? Services Australia, Centrelink, Medicare, Waratah Clinic, Royal Melbourne Hospital, all those parties. So it's going to be a long process of trying to contact them all and trying to get them into the court, and if they don't pay a settlement beforehand, it'll go through the court, because I have a health problem, not a health problem, a disability, so therefore I'm stuck on a health thing, which means I can go to the High Court. Yeah, but you know what really bothers me is we have all these safety things for us, safety net things for us, and then foreign occupants come in as citizens and just use up all that privilege, and we miss out. And that's what's happening. We're missing out because there's no distinction between a foreign citizen and a citizen here, because you don't realise you're a subject. And so you don't take an oath of allegiance, and then you're not covered by the Constitution, which is one of the conversations I had in the hospital when they told me. They ridiculed me in the records, saying that I didn't believe they were covered by the Constitution. Well, you're not. That's the thing. You're paid in a foreign debt slavery currency. You follow foreign policies. You're a citizen, not a subject. So therefore, there is no Constitution for you. You're a citizen. You're a slave. You're stupid. And you just inflicted the same debt slavery upon a subject of the Australian Imperial Crown. You're just numbnuts. And so, I mean, it's so big. Like, it's huge in size because of the amount of organisations and people involved. And, so anyway, I've written a very long email so far. I've got to put in some references, resources, and then I can send it. But that's an email to get contacts to send to those people. So it'll go to the parliamentary and the police and, blah, 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 all these different places. Yeah, so I gotta get it right. It's gonna be really hard because of the disability. And like Stephen said in that clickbait video, they really harm us until we go into silence, because we can't action anything anymore, because they've done so much to us that they've disabled us permanently and maimed us. And so, yeah. But anyway, on this occasion, Victoria Police attended here about the spitting incident. I've listed it as assault by a lethal weapon because that could be toxic. Who knows what she's got. Dumb slag. And so I gotta write to them. So many things, but anyway, don't sleep in your car in the cold weather because you get really sore. And it's not as easy as it was in Queensland. And it's, coming on to winter now, so southern Victoria is so cold. I've kind of forgotten how to deal with it. And I was going to leave my caravan here and just stay in my car. But I have to take my caravan somewhere, so I'm just here for a few days at the moment. See how I go. So I was doing gardening at the caravan park. I'll try to post some videos if I can get them up. And because of that incident, I gave everything away and took down my fence that I built. And this, I don't know, birds will probably get the garden, so it's so depressing. Our people are so dumb and demoralised. And you know what it was over? It was because I debated a man going into the female shower and toilets, and the woman, taking her son that's pretty big. He's a big fella. He's not like a 5-year-old or something. He can go in the males. And he doesn't even share they don't even share the same shower cubicle. It's not like he needs her help. You know what I mean? She's not attending him. He's just in the shower cubicle next to her. He can easily be in the male's one. He's as tall as an adult. He'd be 12 or more. For sure. I don't know. I don't really care anymore, but I do care because fucking hell, like, where are the morals of our people gone? Totally demoralised. And yeah, so it's really hard. Anyway, keep trying. I don't want to interact with people because they're just too stupid to realise that the money they're using is a foreign debt slavery over them and over their family. Too stupid to see it. They want more of it. That's the crazy thing. They want more debt over their people and their country. And then they go, I can't afford a home. I can't afford a piece of clothing. I can't afford food. I have to eat straw because I can't get meat, you know. But they're constantly using debt. How are you going to afford it if you can't? If you're taking out debt all the time, you can't afford everything. So, and every AUD is a debt. It's all debt. So, in the Constitution, Section 115, as I said in my letter, our money's gold and silver. You're not allowed to make anything else legal tender. That's not how it works. So you're just overriding our law with some foreign theft. Excuse me. So, alright, I've done a lot of talking. I've done too much. I'll see you later. Have a good night.